It was the decade when the world seemed to flip from black and white to Technicolor overnight. The music was louder, the fashion brighter, and the kids? They spoke their own language. If you were a teenager back then, you didn't just talk, you grooved, you dug, you split, you burned rubber. Your words had rhythm. They were part of the soundtrack of a changing America. Today, we're dusting off the old jukebox and diving deep into 12 American phrases that kids used in the 1960s. Some are funny, some are cool, and some, well, they're far out, man. So grab your milkshake, hop in the back seat of that cherry red Mustang, and let's roll back to a time when cool wasn't just a word, it was a lifestyle. When someone in the 60s said, "far out," they didn't mean you were standing too far away. It meant something blew their mind. It was amazing, incredible, or beyond normal. This phrase perfectly captured the spirit of the psychedelic era. Think of kids listening to The Doors or Jefferson Airplane, lying on their bedroom floors, staring at the ceiling, and saying, "Whoa, this sound is far out." It was about expanding your perception. Art, music, and ideas were breaking boundaries. Even the way people thought about life was far out. It was freedom, rebellion, and wonder, all packed into two little words. And even if your parents rolled their eyes, you couldn't help it. Saying "far out" just felt good. You can't talk about the 60s without mentioning groovy. It's practically the decade's anthem. The word came from the idea of being in the groove, like a record spinning smoothly on a turntable. If something was groovy, it had rhythm, flow, and style. Example scene. "Hey, we're all heading to the beach later." Groovy. "I'll bring my board." It wasn't just about music, everything could be groovy. A new jacket, a party, even your friend's new hairstyle. People didn't just say groovy, they lived it. The word carried the optimism of the decade: peace, love, and good vibes. And honestly, it still holds up. If someone tells you your outfit's groovy today, you know it's a compliment from the heart. Now here's one that made waves on television. "Sock it to me." It skyrocketed in popularity after appearing on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, one of the most chaotic and hilarious shows of the late 60s. The phrase meant, "Give it to me, show me what you've got," or "hit me with it." But depending on the tone, it could also sound a little flirty. Example scene. "You ready for the talent show? Sock it to me, baby." On Laugh-In, actresses would say the line right before getting splashed with water or hit with a pie. It was a symbol of playful rebellion, quick, punchy, and full of energy. It wasn't just a catchphrase, it was attitude. If someone in the 1960s told you they were made in the shade, they weren't talking about lounging under a palm tree, though that might have been part of the dream. It meant life was good. You were set. You had it all figured out. Example. "You got that summer job and a car?" "Yep, I'm made in the shade." The phrase paints a picture, you, relaxing in the shade while everyone else sweats in the sun. It's confidence without arrogance. Back in the 60s, success didn't always mean money. It could mean independence, freedom, or even just getting your own set of wheels. That was being made in the shade. Next up, "right on." A phrase that packed power, especially during a time when America was changing fast. "Right on" started as a way to show agreement, but it became more than that. During the civil rights movement, people used it to express solidarity, unity, and approval. Example. "We're marching for equality." Right on. It was short, positive, and affirming. It meant you were on the same wavelength, that someone got it. Even after the 60s, right on stayed strong in black culture and beyond. It's more than slang, it's a piece of history. Now let's talk about out of sight. It's one of those phrases that's pure enthusiasm. If something was out of sight, it was so good it blew your mind. Example. Check out that new Pontiac GTO. Man, that's out of sight. It's the kind of thing you said with wide eyes and a grin. You couldn't fake it, out of sight, came straight from the gut. It also reflects the way people in the 60s expressed joy, loud, spontaneous, and unfiltered. If you like something, you didn't hold back. You let the world know, and it felt good to say it. Of course, not every day was sunshine and surfboards. Sometimes things went wrong. That's when you'd hear, "What a bummer." It meant disappointment, a letdown. Simple, understated, but powerful. Example. The beach party got rained out. Bummer, man. The beauty of bummer is how laid back it sounds. No anger, no drama, just quiet acceptance. That mellow vibe was the soul of the 60s youth culture. It happens, man. Just roll with it. Even today, bummer hasn't lost its touch. It's one of those rare slang words that survived, because disappointment never goes out of style. Dig it. Another classic. It meant understand it, appreciate it, feel it. The word came from jazz culture in the 40s. Musicians used it to say, "Do you get the groove?" By the 60s, it had evolved into everyday speech. Example. Listen to that guitar solo. Dig it? Yeah, I dig it. To dig something wasn't just about understanding, it meant feeling it. You could dig a song, a person, or even a deep idea. The phrase captured something that defined the youth of the era: emotional connection. It wasn't about intellect, it was about vibe. Before there were texts or DMs, kids had to get creative when saying goodbye. One of the coolest ways? Catch you on the flip side. It came from radio DJs who'd flip vinyl records to play the other side. So when you said it, you were basically saying, "See you later." Example. I'm heading home. Alright, man. Catch you on the flip side. It was smooth, musical, and clever, everything 60s slang was meant to be. Even decades later, the phrase still pops up among nostalgic baby boomers. It's the kind of goodbye that leaves a smile. Ah, the sound of engines roaring, tires screeching, welcome to Burn Rubber. This one came straight from car culture. In the 60s, cars weren't just transportation, they were identity. Teens would gather in parking lots, showing off their wheels, racing down Main Street on Friday nights. To burn rubber meant to take off fast, leaving black marks and a cloud of smoke behind. Example. You think your Chevy's faster? Let's burn rubber and find out. It was freedom, adrenaline, rebellion, everything the 60s stood for, captured in 2 words. Next up. Split. If you said, "Let's split," you weren't talking about dessert, you were leaving fast. Example. This place is dead. Yeah, let's split. It was casual but cool, a way to exit with style. Split fits perfectly with the mobile, restless spirit of the 60s. Everything was changing: music, fashion, politics, and kids were constantly on the move, chasing the next big thing. So of course, when it was time to go, they didn't just leave. They split. Finally. Cool it. It's what you told your buddy when he was getting too worked up. Example. Man, stop yelling. Cool it. It's simple, but it reflects a whole mindset. In the 60s, when protests, politics, and personal expression were heating up, cool it became a necessary reminder: stay calm, stay collected. It's funny, the same word, cool, that meant stylish or confident could also mean calm down. That's the beauty of slang, it adapts to every emotion. And there you have it, 12 phrases that defined a decade of revolution, rhythm, and youth. They weren't just words. They were reflections of a time when everything felt new: the music, the art, the way people saw the world. Far out. Groovy. Right on. They still carry that spark, don't they? Because the 60s didn't just change culture, they changed language. So next time you hear one of these old phrases, smile. Maybe even throw one into your next conversation. Because somewhere out there, a kid from 1967 is nodding and saying, "Right on, man."